All right, here we go. Saturday night edition of Knicks Postgame Live presented by Prize Picks. Knicks kicking off the first of a 5-game West Coast gauntlet going into LA, into the Crypto.com arena against the LA Lakers. And this Knicks team, I don't know if it was the trade rumors that got to them or what, but this Knicks team came out guns blazing in the first half. 71 first half points. Julius and RJ cooking, running and gunning, high octane offense, transition buckets. This team looked the best they've looked since opening night. But it was always going to be a tale of two halves. You wanted to see how this team was going to respond in the second half, and they absolutely collapsed. 13-point third quarter. They take a 15-point lead in the third, score 13 points. They had Malik Monk out there looking like Ray Allen. Another 27 in the fourth, but they would end up coming back because there's very few teams that are worse at free throw percentage than the Knicks, and the Lakers are one of them. They're actually second to last in the league in free throws, and they would bring this Knicks team back where we were tied in overtime on an RJ Barrett three-pointer. Shout out to Broadway Barrett, career high 36-point night. But in OT, man, we just weren't crisp. A lot of mental blunders, a lot of mental errors, and the Lakers just, as Bill Belichick says, they made more plays than we did. So we're going to talk about it tonight. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP the Franchise, JD Sports Talk in the building. 122 to 115. Knicks go down in La La Land. Tough loss. Tough loss, man. Whew. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. See Chuck D in the chat. Salute to Rhyme Animal Chuck D. Where do we start here, JD? As I said, it was a team full of energy, a team full of life in this first half. Came out smoking. First three possessions was active hands, defense leading the offense, high speed pace, getting into our sets early, quick decisions from Julius. He must have been feeling the pressure from the trade rumors. The confrontation from Berman got him energized. And it looked great. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this was too good. Because they shot 50% from the field. They scored 71 points in the first half. Electric from three. I said, obviously, they can't maintain it. They can't maintain any of it. The pace, the shooting, and obviously the Lakers are going to adjust. So how are we going to adjust to their adjustments? Completely flamed out. You had Malik Monk cooking. The Lakers started switching more on their defensive coverages. Knicks slowed the ball down. Ball movement stuck. Wasn't fluid. You talk about Tibbs' adjustments. You damn near playing the starters once again the entire third. Kemba dragging the leg, getting flamed out there on both ends, making terrible decisions. Shell of himself. You had Mitch absent for damn near a quarter. 4 minutes into the third, he doesn't come back until damn near 4 minutes into the fourth. Where was he when LeBron and these guys were cooking? And then, fourth quarter, things slowed down. But nevertheless, as I said, there's very few teams worse than the New York Knicks at free throw shooting, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. This is why this was a game that, of this 5-game West Coast trip, I thought we could win. Lakers struggling, same record as the Knicks damn near, and match up very evenly. And, Lakers brought us back in there. Give credit to RJ. Splashes a three to get it into OT, man, but just couldn't execute down the stretch, man. 122, 115. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Man, this is one of those I guess one of those heartbreaking games. When you look at the way that this is the first game of a road trip. So you're already going into this game, a little antsy. A lot of the fan base was already, they were already concerned about what's the outcome of this road trip is going to be. This is a critical point of the season. This is the season, in my opinion, right now. Yeah. And it just also happens to be, about 5 days before the trade deadline. So it's a lot happening here while, this game was also on national television against the Lakers. And we have a great start. We scored 42 points in the first quarter. That's the most points we scored in a quarter this whole season. So talk about that in the first quarter on national television to start this road trip. And, Julius Randle being a big part of that.
Yeah.
Julius and RJ being a big part of that start.
20-point half for both of them.
Right, exactly. The last time that happened was Kurt Thomas and
recording in progress.
I think it was Kurt and Spree did it.
Wow.
A long time ago. Yeah. It was in January 26th of 2003 against the Suns. Sprewell had 20 and Kurt Thomas had 22 in the same half. So you talk about history there. And I'll start from a player standpoint with Julius in terms of this is what you wanted to see starting a game. I've always said, it's not always about the stats, but, the energy, the compete level, being active. There was a lot of sequences there you saw early where he got the ball. He barely had a second with it and was just moving
quick.
And then after the pass, he goes to his spot. But he sprints to his spot. He doesn't jog to his spot.
Yeah.
There was a play, I think it was to end the first, where there was a beautiful play. He caught the ball, passed it, went to the corner, got the ball back, passed it to RJ. RJ had a wide open three or net.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. You like to see that. That's the type of basketball you like to see. So great first half. And the third quarter of doom. I'm going to be fair to Julius here in the third quarter. And the only reason I say that, CP, is, it's like what you said, how sustainable is all of this, right? And it gets to a point where, okay, let's help him out now. We got that type of great performance. Let's help him out. And to me, coaching was a big miss in the third quarter because they made a huge run and we made zero moves, zero counters. And that was questionable to me. Same thing. A lot of the players, and I know those are the same players that got you that run, but I mean, you knew the Lakers were going to respond,
right?
Like you knew the Lakers also are facing a critical point of their season.
Right.
LeBron James is coming back tonight. They're not like they're just in general. An NBA team is going to give you a run before the night is over, whether it's a fake run or whatever the case may be. And so I thought that was the moment, and we didn't respond well. And then, to end the game, you talk about executions, you talk about inbounding, our continued weakness, out of timeout plays, inbounding the ball. I find it questionable that we continue to have Alec Burks in that situation. I know we don't have many options, but
since last year, we cannot do a proper inbound with Alec Burks handling the ball. Good.
Yeah, and we continue to do the same thing. And, listen, RJ had a night tonight. RJ had a night. This is the first time, before he hit that shot, at halftime, I was saying to myself, this is the first game that LeBron has played against the Knicks since January of 2020. Yeah. So that means RJ has missed a lot of those experiences going against an all-time great.
Right.
At such a young age. Tonight was one of those rare times he was on the floor with LeBron James. And for him to have this type of game, I think it's going to be essential to his confidence, to his development. You saw they had a moment there at the end of the game where LeBron seemed to give him a few pointers. They both nodded their head, and it looks like, RJ liked what he heard from LeBron. I'm sure LeBron gave him a lot of respect.
It's a lot of respect.
So to me,
shown.
At the end of the day, the story of this night moving forward long term is RJ. He had 3 shots in the third quarter. Forget the minutes. This is what I'm talking about with strategy. He had 3 shots in the third quarter. And that's why I say I want to be fair to Randle. He didn't have a good third quarter. He didn't have a good second half. But, we didn't have to rely on him. We got him in the first half. RJ had it cooking. Why is he taking 3 shots in the third?
That's right.
And these are the little details that I always bring up in the heat of the moment when we place close games like tonight. Some of those things get exposed, and I think it got exposed tonight.
Yeah, no question, man. And it was funny because, and salute to everybody in the chat once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. We'll get the highlights up and running here in just a second. Knicks post-game live presented by Prize Picks. And it was funny because as I tweeted out, my satisfaction with the first half, somebody responded. It was like, let's see what happens in the second, because watch, they freeze RJ in the second half. And that's exactly what happened. I give credit to Vogel. He made his adjustments, which got the Lakers back into the game. The Lakers' energy obviously was going to be a lot better in the second half. At least you expected them to. They still have the best player in the game, from my opinion, and one of the best. LeBron James running the charge. So, obviously they were going to make their run. Malik Monk has been electric. And give credit to him. He's really resurrected his career. When you can play off of LeBron James, that's a big benefit to him. He went from purgatory with the Hornets, and he's stepping it up, man. He had 19 points, 15 points in the third alone. Was absolutely torching us, man. And I just thought that between the third and the early parts of the fourth, let's talk about this, because a lot of people were saying, why was Burks in at the point? That is the conundrum right now. We know the point guard is an issue. Kemba gave us nothing. He's been giving us nothing 3 games in a row now. He's been terrible. Where else do we go? The thing about Burks tonight was that while he didn't give us much playmaking, he did find Randle for a nice pick and roll in the overtime. He was attacking the basket. He was drawing contact. And you saw quickly got benched in the second half. Didn't have a good first half. Quickly got benched. Obviously, he's not going to McBride at that moment. This is all we have. So you have Burks play the entire fourth, the entire overtime, because once again, point guard rotation is hurting us. And I thought it just hurt us in that fourth. We just still could not get solid ball movement and solid enough playmaking to really get, a good rhythm on offense.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, this is the big weakness. I mean, we can't run away from it, right? Like you're gonna see points in the game with this current roster where you're gonna see the need of a dynamic point guard. And those are the moments. Like, who else does he go to? I know some way say IQ. It looked like IQ was in his doghouse tonight.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't. I don't think he saw a minute in the second half, and including overtime. So that's a lot of minutes.
IQ did not see a minute. Did not see a minute, bro.
Yeah, and so what are they going to do at the trade deadline? Are they going to address it? Does a game like tonight add more urgency to look at?
We head to the final stretch.
If you can find someone, how much of a priority do the Knicks see it for this season? Do they view it as, is it worth it at this point? I think it's a combination of what's going to be available and if the Knicks are interested in that, because, we hear the names like a De'Aaron Fox and all those guys, but if those guys are not available, do you go lower? Do you go to like a Melton from the Grizzlies? Like, do you go to that type of tier, and is that enough? So the Knicks front office has a lot of, questions to answer here in the next few days. But, that third quarter, to me, it was bad. Fournier goes 1 of 5 in the third, and Grimes plays less than a minute. And I know Grimes struggled tonight. I don't even think he hit a shot.
Grimes wasn't on point tonight. He didn't have it tonight.
He wasn't on point. But look, here's an adjustment Frank Vogel made. They even talked about it in the telecast because it was like a big deal. Mm-hmm. In overtime, Frank Vogel says enough.
Brody got benched.
Right? To that point, Taylor Horton Tucker was 0 of 5 from the field.
Yeah.
He gives him that big basket in overtime. So, yes, it was only one basket, but overtime is not 12 minutes. So that big basket helped the team win the game.
Yeah, it was.
Right? It was one of the big moments. And he rewarded the adjustment. It was a risk because Van Gundy said it. When you make a move like that, you have to win.
You better
those
win
games.
that game. Yeah, yeah.
And they won that game. So this is what I'm saying. I understand that to that point, a guy like Grimes and some of these guys were not, having a good game. But sometimes it's just about feel. When a young player sees that he does not play the whole quarter or barely plays, you don't think that's on their mind when they already know that they struggle. They're already thinking, I have to hit my next shot. Like, they have a little bit of inner pressure. So I just would like a little bit more flexibility and just a little bit more trust, which is it's a tough word with Tibbs, but props to Vogel for making that adjustment. He's facing a lot of pressure. So, you talk about a Hall of Fame player for, end of the bench player. That was a big move by him. But listen, big game from RJ, and hopefully we continue to utilize him and we continue to ride him throughout this road trip, because it's gonna get even tougher.
Yeah, it was tough, man, because this was a game I thought we could have stole on this trip. Not just stole, I thought we could have won. And we, with or without LeBron on the Lakers, I thought we could have won this game, because I just feel like, we match up well with them. They're struggling as well. I figured that, I did expect us to come out with some energy, all things considered. And, to come out with the first half, we had 71 points. Now they're flirting with a comeback. Goes into overtime, you snatch the momentum back, and then overtime, you got Fournier tossing the ball into the opponent's court. We don't need that, Fournier, man. We don't need that. You had such a good game in the first half. I said, bro, he can't make
those
it
are the
up,
type
man.
of plays that erases everything.
He erases everything.
Because you're like, come on, man, out of everything.
The Lakers get the tip, they tap it out of bounds. So my man saving it in the other end. The cardinal sin, as Clyde would say. Those things on overtime, when it's a game of inches, you can't give that up, because the guys are tired. Nobody has legs. Momentum can go one way or the next real fast. You gotta be more crisp. The inbound to Randle, telegraphs it. They're right next to each other. Randle and Burks right on top of each other. Ball gets bobbled. Ball gets stolen. Yeah, the THT play could have been a 3-point play. He misses the free throw. All in all, just not crisp. As we go to the bench, again, you had 2 goose eggs from IQ and Grimes. That was big. Obi only 4 points. Noel, give me a break. No hands. Noel killed us tonight. Absolutely killed us tonight. I was looking for Mitch earlier in that fourth quarter to see if he could provide just a little bit more rim protection out there, and he was nowhere to be found. And then you had Burks with 12 points, 6 boards, 4 dimes off the bench. So frustrated, man. Frustrated.
And listen, at the end of the day, CP, we come in here and we're gonna give our analysis, and we're gonna go to the grain, quarter to quarter, moment to moment. And we'll give you the full scope of what we believe happened, what led to the win, what led to the loss, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, you talk about a tale of 2 halves. That's what these 2 teams are. These are 2 bad teams.
That's right.
These are 2 bad teams.
That's right.
So, yes, the coaching and these substitution patterns, like, that's all very important. And it's critical because it could decide these games, but there's also a personnel issue here as well. With what we're seeing, obviously everybody knows my stance. I would love to see some of these other young guys play more in different ways, because I would like to see how that is with a balance of Randle and some of these other high-end veterans, with Randle playing tonight. I would like to see how he would look with some of the young guns. But outside of that perspective, these are 2 bad teams, and that's just what you saw tonight. You have a first half like that. In the first half, I thought we had Randle from last year.
Yeah.
Right. And for a moment, I'm like, wow, like, this is really Randle from last year. And then in the second half, it's the total opposite everywhere you look. So you mentioned it, the inbounding. We need a point guard. We weren't hitting shots. We missed like 13 or 14 threes there before overtime between the third and fourth quarters. It was crazy. So There's definitely, a lot of issues here with this roster, and to me, these are two bad teams. The Lakers have, I think, more aspirations on making the playoffs.
For
They're
sure.
more of a veteran team, so they may have a different mindset in terms of let's just get to the play-in or playoffs and see how we go because of the type of players they have. But this Knicks team, man, they have a long way to go, especially with the players that are playing in this current rotation.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. This is Knicks Post Game Live presented by Prize Picks. CP the franchise here. My guy JD Sports Talk on the other side. Salute to Fresh 3542. He just subscribed. This is Knicks Post Game Live. Once again, the #1 show for the fans by the fans. If you're a diehard Knicks fan, if you're an NBA fan, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. We got a lot of people subscribing. We are climbing up to 50,000 subscribers right now. So make sure you go ahead and continue to support. Definitely appreciate it. We're going to take some phone calls right now. Let me first start up the switchboards real quick. So to everybody in the chat, JD, we got 2,000 people in here on the check-in, man. If you throw an emoji in the chat, let me know how you guys are feeling right now. I mean, this was definitely a frustrating one. As I said, coming off a 71-point first half, it's tough to go out like this. Definitely tough to go out like this.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
All right, so I got my British assistant ready to start the switchboards, and the show has officially kicked off. Okay, let's go to the Discord first. Let me get to my guy Eugene. Eugene, go ahead and unmute your mic. Eugene. All right, Eugene ain't there. Sam, you there? Sam, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up?
What's up, Sam?
Guys?
How you feeling, bro?
It's disappointing loss, but
yeah,
it's against. I know the Lakers are a struggling team, but it's also like you look at the Lakers personnel. It's that too, compared to our personnel.
Mm-hmm.
I think my most concerned part. Well, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Mike Breen, they all hitting on the nose about like this second half. And just they hit all the discrepancies the Knicks were facing. And it's so frustrating. When you walk out onto the floor in the first half and have the ball movement, the speed, everything's going for you.
Yep.
And then to have a complete 180 in the second half, not even like a 90 degrees, maybe a few. No, it's the whole team, just the whole 180.
Mm-hmm.
And it's concerning because who's talking in the locker room where you say, okay, stop doing what you're doing and look like that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. The Lakers defense is okay. I'm not going to say good here. But it's so weird to see that 180. And it's really, really frustrating. Tibbs, like, when we went for the mic in and we saw Frank Vogel doing with the mic and he was coaching, I could have walked into the Lakers huddle and said the same damn thing because Tibbs has no adjustment. Drive and kick because they're going to over-rotate and force Randle right. That's all Frank Vogel said. And I get it. There were some rotations there. But the fact that Tibbs made no adjustment whatsoever in that third quarter is what bothers me.
Yes.
There was nothing happening.
Nothing happening. He took 2 timeouts, Sam and JD, and went back to the same 5 with Kemba on one leg. Come on, man.
You talk about Kemba not having confidence. How about that play?
Oh my
where
God!
He had the clear layup.
Bro,
Russell Westbrook was not. He was a foot behind, and then he allowed them to catch up. And even then, Russell Westbrook was not going to block the shot. He had the angle. His body was right in front of it. At the very least, you could have gotten fouled, maybe. But he had the clear layup, and he turns around and he passes it. If that right there, those are the little plays that tells you, mentally you're not there in terms of your confidence in your game and your ability to explode. There was another when Nerlens Noel was shooting a free throw, you saw on the ESPN screen or the ABC screen the type of like brace he has on his knee. I don't know if if anybody had picked that up.
Somebody did note that as well. Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be pictures online about that. That brace was huge.
Yeah,
man.
Somebody said it was like some crazy apparatus he had on his knee, man.
Yeah. I think it looked like the same thing that Kawhi had on his knee right before surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not 100% sure on that, but it looked like the same tech. It's yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to drop you off, man, because we got a lot of
Yeah.
callers, so I just want to get
no
it
problem.
in, man. Good to hear from you. Yo, West Coast Watch Along starts this week, man, so definitely jump in for the Utah game, bro.
You got it.
All right. My guy Sam on the Discord. Back to the Discord. Eugene, what's going on, bro? Eugene, go ahead and unmute your mic. Not getting Gene. Gene going once. All right, not getting Gene. TGI Fly on the line. TGI Fly, what's good?
Yo,
Yo,
y'all hear me?
yeah, loud and clear. Let's go, bro.
Man, I just tuned in. I'm real late. But what up? How y'all doing tonight, man?
Yeah, doing good, man. What's your points on the game?
I feel like the first half was beautiful. That was something that was needed. I'm not too down on the lows. But the second half was basically a reverse. Like we reverted back to what we normally would do.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like to start the quarter, the third quarter started off real lackadaisical. I don't want to blame Randle for it, but I feel like everybody follows him. Like everybody follows his lead. He started off the game, high pace, high energy, high effort. And he came out like a little bit on cruise control.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime he gets going, he always feels like I'm back.
Okay. All right, yo, I'm just gonna because your connection don't sound too good either, man. So I'm just gonna drop you off. But I appreciate the call. Papa Left next up on the switchboard. Papa Left, what's good?
Yo, what's going on, man? JD, how you doing?
How you doing? Bro?
Man. So I mean, how you guys doing, man? This was my biggest fear, enjoying that whole first half, man. It was. I mean, I'm sure it was in your head. I'm sure it was in the whole fan base's head, watching the way we played in that first half. And you saw little inklings of it, how we couldn't close those quarters, but, you figured 15 was a decent enough margin. But, Tibbs, man, he stood there. I'm tired of him cursing and muttering to himself and not making any adjustments. I'm tired of it. I thought, he's brought this team to where it's needed to be, but I can't tell you what's on the other side of it at this point other than frustration. I can't tell. I would love to be positive. I've been positive the whole time. And I'm not saying fire him tomorrow, but I mean, at the end of this year, I don't even have any confidence if the consolidation moves come. I don't have any confidence that he's going to do anything normal when you have a 20-point lead. And, you guys already touched on all the missed opportunities. I mean, CP, me and you talked about it with the point guard situation. I mean, it's a endemic problem. Like, it's 2 years in a row where you have a starter that's in there, as a default, and you have no trust in them to bring them back, and we don't have any type of consistency in our offense, no type of trust in the offense. And now you're gassing out guys who aren't point guards. Like, that needs all the noise about Randle and Cam Reddish. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, get a point guard because you're ruining the most affordable years of Obi Toppin's contract. You're ruining the most affordable years of RJ Barrett's contract. Yeah. We have guys that can run the floor, go down the court and play aggressive basketball like you saw in the first half. And then the last point I'll make is about IQ. Mm-hmm. Man, there's nothing that, in my opinion, I mean, you can be equally as tough on Alec Burks as you can be on Immanuel Quickley, and there's nothing egregious that Immanuel Quickley did in that first half that deserved Alec Burks getting played 538,331 minutes in the second. There's nothing he did.
I think part of the issue was, again, it's trust, right? In that second quarter, when the Lakers had LeBron, featured LeBron, and we had IQ out there, we really didn't have, it was IQ, it was Grimes, it was Burks, it was Obi, it was Noel. We didn't have the wing that you wanted out there to really put on LeBron James. Second half, Tibbs makes the adjustment, scraps Kemba, scraps IQ. He goes bigger with Burks, and he has RJ guarding LeBron. Now, LeBron still got a couple shots off.
There was also certain times, CP, where you had Obi Toppin in there playing in the corner and then playing off on Austin Reeves. Like, there was just no creativity. And at that point in the game, you had Noel in the game for no reason because LeBron James was the starting center.
25.
I mean, there are things like I'm watching you I'm watching JD. I'm watching everyone on Knicks Twitter point this out, and he's not making that adjustment. And with IQ, the last thing I'll say about him is like he's a dynamic, game-changing player. He can hit the three. He can tantalize the defense with that three-point shot. And if he doesn't have it going, it's not. He's not a tremendous liability. And you also have Quentin Grimes who can play defense and doesn't turn into a rice cake when someone goes downhill. Like they go on Alec Burks, who's all of a sudden become a defensive liability, and he had no business being on the court that long. I'm sorry. Have a good night, y'all. I'll be imitating you tomorrow.
Yeah, all right, man. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Your thoughts on Papa Left's call, JD? Your thoughts?
Yeah, Tibbs, a lot of his call was on, he wanting to see Tibbs, adapt and make some changes at certain points of the game. And, when Vogel had benched Westbrook a few weeks ago, you saw he got killed in the media for that, especially by players that support Westbrook, and that's part of the business. The Lakers lost that game, so Vogel got killed, and tonight he did it again, and he's like, you know what? I might get fired anyway. I might as well try everything under the sink.
Anything goes with Vogel right now. He's trying anything to save his job.
You got to put yourself in their position. They're probably thinking we can't lose to the Knicks on national TV.
That's right.
We can't lose to the Knicks tonight with LeBron coming back. So, and it's what he's mentioned with LeBron playing the five, and then Noel, bro. Noel can't catch. He can't catch. I don't know what he can't catch. I can't even think of.
My man got outlined in chalk on the court. I didn't think he was going to get up.
Like CP, there's nights. I understand the philosophy of 48 minutes of rim protection. I understand. But there's just nights where, and there's sometimes there's coaches that they hate to have to play the style of the opponent. Like they hate that. So they'll do everything they can to not play the other style. But sometimes the difference in personnel is so significant that you have to. And when you have LeBron and them playing small like that, you can't be having Noel out there like that. And because the reason is when they put Noel in the on a pick and roll situation, you know what happens? It creates a lot of separation. And now our guards are susceptible to being late on a rotation because they have to make up for the spacing that's created because the big man is at a disadvantage.
Drop coverage.
That's how you exploit that matchup. That's why teams don't like when, you're going small and they're big. And like, that's one of the difference. If the other team hits shots, that's how you create open looks. And so listen, man, adaptability. And it's a big concern of mine is sometimes you just have to make some adjustments. And I didn't see it tonight for the most part, but again, it's a lot of factors on why we lost as well.
Well, no adjustments needed here for KnicksFanTV. We got 2,600 people in here. Win or lose, it's midnight here on the East Coast. Number one show for the fans, by the fans, is rocking right now. CP and JD on the ones and twos. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Hit that like button. Let's get it going, man. Knicks lose a heartbreaking in overtime to the Lake Show, 122 to 115. Great game by RJ, man. RJ was in his bag, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to dwell on all the negatives tonight. Yeah, it was a lot of negatives. But my guy, Broadway Barrett, unleashed the footwork on these guys tonight. Put Brody in the blender. Had somebody else hit the spin move. AD. Oh, my goodness. The three-pointer was laced. What RJ do from downtown tonight? Including the clutch one to put us into overtime. 4-10 from downtown, 36 points, 13 to 28 from the field, 8 boards, 5 dimes. And you know what I love about RJ, bro? Which he's been doing a lot lately. As soon as he's getting that rebound, he's out. He's going.
That's a great point, man.
Pace. RJ in transition, I've been saying it for the last 3 years. That's his game. And that's how we get him going. That's how we get him comfortable. That's how we get him in a rhythm. And he looked great in the first half. And I just loved how him and Julius were playing off of each other in the first half. Julius gets the block shot, sprints down the lane. RJ gets it in the post, gets it to Julius back, lays it in. 1-2 game was on point between the two of them to start this game off. I just tight that they couldn't get the job done and finish it off, man.
Yeah, that was a great point because I was gonna say that right after you in the sense that RJ seems to, and it's funny because he's not he's not an ultra fast player, but he seems to be engaged and enjoy playing the fast paced game. He likes to go out and run. He likes to,
Right.
move fast and be in a high tempo environment. So, when you look at surrounding him and putting him in the best position to succeed moving forward, the Knicks have to really take a look at this because you want to maximize what you have here.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time talking about who let's go get Spider, let's go get everybody else. That's a conversation for down the road. But how do we maximize what we have here?
That's right.
How do we design a structure and an environment to maximize what we have here to see, how potent this team could be in the future, and it's been a frustrating thing for me is our lack of, doing that for a guy like RJ and some of the other young guys, and this slow tempo thing, just not forcing the action or not running a lot more action through RJ. And that's why I've always thought that like the Fournier thing, even when he plays well, give him credit. I give him credit when he plays well, but long-term speaking, he's just not a fit with a lot of these guys. You see it like when Fournier's struggling from the perimeter, you see the liability on defense, which in close games means a lot. In that fourth quarter, it was tough sometimes when he came in, he wasn't hitting shots and he was late on a lot of those rotations. And then you saw the bad turnover he had. Like, it's just not a fit for RJ. We have to look at RJ and then everyone else. What can we do to continue to get these performances? And I hate that when he has a performance like this, here comes the next game and RJ standing on the corner.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot continue to do that, CP.
No question about it. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks Postgame Live presented by Prize Picks. We're going to get back to the phones. And how about this, bro? How about Russell Westbrook getting booed in his own building tonight? Ooh.
That's been a topic of conversation.
That's been a hot topic as of late. I thought it was only Knicks fans that do such things, but apparently the Laker fans have had enough of the theatrics, with Brody and the bricks. He's in the construction business now there in LA. But no, to that topic, we're gonna address some situations that have occurred on this channel. A couple of days ago. We definitely are going to address that in a little bit, so definitely stay tuned for that. Let me get back to the phones and let me get my guy Eugene. He was having a little bit of difficulties on the Discord. Let's go to him right now. It's Eugene, Bay Area. Let's go.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, so I'm going to try to be non-emotional. I'm just going to talk facts.
Mm-hmm.
I have now elevated Tibbs as the number one problem over Randle. And the thing I want to talk about is Tibbs' Coach of the Year last year. Here's why I believe, there's two reasons why I believe it was a fluke. The first one was he had players playing out of their mind because of an empty gym, especially Julius Randle, who made him kind of look good. But at the end of the day, the reality is the gym was empty. They had no pressure. They played above their head. The second thing, and most important, is his defensive schemes looked great last year, but in reality, his drop coverage gave up so many open threes.
Yeah.
The only difference is last year, the opponent shot 32% against open threes.
Right.
This year, they're shooting over 41% from open threes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if you look at today's coaching, Julius Randle plays good in the first half, but he's playing 100% off of RJ. RJ's the number one guy. He's playing as the number two, and he plays entirely better. Now, RJ's cooking. It's 17 in the first, and with 3 minutes left in the game, Tibbs pulls him out and puts him on the bench when he almost never does that.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly he's not paying attention. Either he's not paying attention, this guy's got the hot hand. Why are you pulling him out when you play him in the entire first all of the time?
Mm-hmm.
Then the third quarter comes, and Tibbs allows freaking Julius Randle, who's playing literally iso ball the entire time. You guys mentioned it. Barrett only shoots 3 shots in the third quarter. No adjustments to say, hey, let me get – this guy is having a career
back in RJ's
night.
hands.
Let me find a way to get this guy the ball. And then we we have Julius sulking because he's playing bad, and we all play with people in the park where, when they playing bad, they start acting all, like a sad puppy, and that's Julius. Every time he's playing good, he's all smiles. He's playing bad, he's acting like a sad puppy. Mm-hmm. We've got freaking Burks playing way too many minutes, Noel playing way too many minutes, and then in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left, here's what really pissed me off. 4 minutes left, Monk hits a huge three. Noel's still in the game at this point. Tibbs calls a timeout. Then at the end of the timeout, he puts Noel back in the game.
Same guys.
Then 10 seconds later, he brings in Mitch. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, if you knew you were going to bring in Mitch, it clearly shows that he's not really thinking. Why didn't you bring in Mitch at the time of the timeout? So Tibbs' rotations, his decision-making has been trash. I think he got lucky last year, and we would have been just as bad if people were hitting 41% of those open threes. Randle's playing like trash, but I think Tibbs is probably just overplaying him, not adjusting. Burks is playing like trash. He played 30 minutes. Grimes played 14. Maybe I know Quick had a slow start, but maybe trust him a little bit. Put him back in for a couple minutes to see can he get it going, because he's a street guy. So I'm 100% convinced that last year was lucky. Old school defensive scheme with the open three-pointers in 2022 is probably not the right thing. The key word is adjustments. Your boy Tibbs doesn't believe in it. RJ is becoming our number one. Tibbs doesn't see it. I don't know what to say. I'm out.
Eugene on the Discord coming in with the heat, man. Rate that call in the chat 1 through 5. I see a lot of people agreeing with him. What do you guys think in the chat? 1 through 5, rate that call in the chat. Yeah. The rotations just were head scratches, especially in the third, especially in that third quarter, man. We're getting dragged 13 points in that quarter. You got Kemba on one leg. You take 2 timeouts. He's still in there. I just don't get it. As far as their style of defense, a lot of teams in the league play that way, bro. Think about the Milwaukee Bucks. Think about the Miami Heat. A lot of teams play that way. They want to give up. They don't want to give up the high percentage buckets. Layups, dunks, free throws. So they're crashing the paint, and they'll give you those open threes. Miami, as stout as their defense is, they're number 1 in the NBA in 3 points attempted, I believe. That's just their style of defense. And Milwaukee Bucks have been that way for years. Still won the championship. Because they got balance. And as Eugene said, he's absolutely right. Last year we were able to get away with it because our opponents were missing those wide open looks. And I remember Tibbs being interviewed and on that last year, he was saying, sometimes statistically or I guess mentally, sometimes, those wide open looks aren't as easy as they look. And so you get a lot of misses. This year it's been a bit of the opposite. So it's hurt their defense. But, that's on him to adjust. So it's just interesting, man, because you hear the players talk about Tibbs being the most prepared going into a game, but certainly not prepared as it pertains to the in-game chess match. It just seems like he sticks to his script and is going to go down in flames. Go down.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you could be, because like I've always said, I have respect for Tibbs as a coach. I think he's a good coach, for sure. But you can be good at what you believe in, and he's good at what he believes in. It's just that style, in my opinion, is being challenged in today's NBA game, right? Like the way that he coaches at this point. Some of his principles, his fundamentals, and his philosophies is challenged by a more modern way of playing basketball today. And so that right there, I think, is the possible disconnect on nights like tonight, nights like many other nights, the Atlanta Hawks series in the playoffs, where, teams are playing a certain way and different personnel sometimes call for you to adjust to that personnel, but he believes in what he believes in. And as far as the 3-point philosophy, yeah, I mean, you even see today a lot of times when a player gives up a 2, you see players looking at each other like, what happened? Like, why did we give up that layup? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a historic, just the fundamentals of basketball you just don't like to give up the easy basket. You rather give up the long shot, even in a game today where that is the NBA game, is the 3-point shot. But not everybody's a 50% 3-point shooter, so you live and die by it. And so a lot of teams do play that type of defense. But again, it's all about adjusting throughout, and that's where I think Tibbs falls short in today's game.
Yeah, the two teams that give up the most threes in the game right now, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. And Charlotte gives up. They're tied with Milwaukee, but you know that's been Milwaukee's play. You got the Heat up there. You know, a lot of
we were the 4th seed and we were up there.
We were up there. You know, so it's just that philosophy. But again, this year we just don't have that balance. You know, our offense has been pretty dreadful. We're 29th in assists, 23rd in offensive rating. So it's kind of hard sometimes when these teams are bombing away at you. You don't have the the firepower to clap back and execute when you need to. So it becomes a bit difficult, and that's why we are in the position that we're in right now. Shout out to Kevin Joseph. Let me salute some of the super chats that have come in, man. People in here spending dough. Definitely appreciate it. Knicks postgame live presented by Prize Picks. 2,700 people in the chat. Let's get up to 1,000 likes, at least 2,000 likes. Hit that like button. Shout out to Kevin Joseph. He says Tibbs and Julius watched the first half and said, let's do the opposite and go back to what hasn't worked. Thank God for RJ. Russ is cooked. Burks is the worst inbounder of all time. IQ getting the Obi treatment now? Question mark. Shout out BKNY. He says, Knicks Killer Award. Malik Monk gave RJ the keys. Sell the vets. Play the kids. Shout out First Lady of Sports. $10 super chat says, Knicks again revert to ISO ball in the second half. Bad offense. Big shout out to MP22. Says, who's the problem here? The players or the coaches? Do we have the coach? Do we for Coach Tibbs have after? Oh, do we fire Coach Tibbs after this year? This team is really frustrating. Paul Robinson, $5 super chat says, Randle lost us a game with his chucking and icing of RJ in the third, and he let Monk get to the rim at will multiple times. Forget his stats. Trade him. So, okay. So he's trying to get him up out of here on a high note. You know what I mean? Randle beasted. No, but that is another point. The second half defense just wasn't there, man. We the energy I just felt like we were gassed after that first half effort, and our effort in the second half, especially defensively in that third quarter, was also pretty abysmal. So just tough, man. 15-point third. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. When you were watching Julius in that first half, because I thought about it. So that's why I'll tell everyone this. I thought about it. I didn't answer the question to myself, but I thought about it. When I saw him play that way in the first half, I did ask myself, would I give up this type of player for De'Aaron Fox?
Everybody is in their heads thinking that, bro. Like, oh,
right?
man.
I know, and I know people. I know you guys
right
in the chat. I know y'all thought that too. Like, if we could get this Randle, are you giving up that player for De'Aaron Fox?
Bro, this was last year's Randle. Defensive effort, rebounding, scoring. You know, the mid range was on point. The arsenal was back out, assisting. This was last year's Randle.
And again, against a top defender in AD.
Yeah.
He was doing that.
Taking it to him. This was the guy we had last year. So it was just interesting to see, to watch that. Because I know the Randle haters were stewing when my man was cooking in the first half, man. He killed me because on Prize Picks, I went with the under on points, rebounds, and assists with him, which was at 32.5. He damn near hit it at halftime. So that shows you how much confidence I had in him in this game. But we'll get to our Prize Picks segment in a little bit. If you guys are new in the chat, drop a hashtag new in the chat, and we will shout you guys out. Let's go to the Discord and see who's here. Rock on the Discord. Rock, go ahead and unmute your mic. Rock going once. All right, people on the Discord not ready for their debut, man. Yeah. Oh, Rock, go ahead, Rock.
Yo.
I
think we gotta get out of this mindset that it's gotta be a point guard. Because my thing is, if we give it to RJ and you put Grimes in there, and because my thing is, anybody can bring the ball up. If you just get somebody to bring the ball up, anybody but Julius, and just get us into the offense, you just move the ball and move the defense. We can get a good shot. I think too often we expect that we have to have this traditional point guard, and then automatically they can get us into the offense. RJ can do that. Even Fournier can do that. My thing is, you're not expecting them to create their own shot, but just run the offense so that way you can get the ball moving. My thing is right now, Kimba, as much respect as we have for him, his knees are shot.
Yeah.
And right now, Tibbs just doesn't have it in him to adjust. And I think that's what's crippling us because he just sat there and watched the lead dwindle in the third and did nothing.
Did nothing, bro.
I'm like, bro, come on. At some point, you got to do something. You waited till the lead got down to 1 and called a timeout.
Yeah.
And then my thing is, you came back with the same 5.
Same
And then my
five.
thing
Twice.
is, I'm like,
Twice.
You killing me.
Yeah.
I'm over here sweating, and I'm like, yo, come on. At what point are we going to go back to what we did in the first half? And this dude, you go to the timeout. Tibbs, at what point do you say, okay, look, guys, let's revert back to what we did in the first half. Move the ball. Let's stop dribbling, stop pounding, move the ball. He just lets Julius go back out there and do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Y'all help me out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate the call. Appreciate the call, man. Let me go to Triple X on the Discord. Triple X, and unmute your mic. Triple X going once. Triple X going twice. All right, Triple X ain't ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move. I see Fredo in here. Fredo, go ahead.
Gentlemen, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I'm going to be quick. First, I just want to say Star J was shining bright tonight. He reminded me of Felix the Cat. He was in his bag of tricks. All my old heads. All my old heads know that one.
My man brought it back to the old cartoons. Okay.
Yeah, he was super mixy tonight. I just want to. I don't remember where I read it, so I would love to give the guy props for it because it's not my idea. So I'm sorry about that. But I saw right before the game, I saw somebody say that the best acquisition the Knicks could make this season would be to get Randle back to the way that he was.
Sure, absolutely.
And I think that was a really powerful statement. And then
Yeah.
when the game that him and RJ came out tonight and had, I mean, they both played phenomenal. I mean, I wish you wouldn't have so many turnovers, but overall, I think they played great. And, there's no such thing as a good loss, but I would say that tonight was kind of like an honorable loss. If they could go out and play like this for the rest of the season, I think a lot of people would be a lot more happy. But I don't want to take up too much time. I know it's late,
Appreciate
so thank you guys.
I mean, JD, you had 68 points between RJ and Julius. This has to be the first game they both dropped 30. And then they both dropped 30 in a loss, which is kind of tough.
Yeah, and they're 4-2 now. And that's what I'm saying. Like when you saw that first half, I was like, man, if we could just hold on a little bit, they're gonna make a run.
Right.
But this looks like it's gonna be 5-1 when they both scored 20 points this season. The Knicks just win. But here's the thing: yes, they lost, but you saw the sample size of how. Not only they both look, how the team looks when they both got it going together. So that is still a blueprint there. It's just the Knicks have to find a way how to do it more consistently. And with Randle, CP, I ask you, when you look at that first half, and there's been a lot of talk about Randle, is he dealing with stuff? Is his spirit broken? Is he mentally just down because of the whole thing with the fans? But then I look at that first half. I look at, he seems to be taking his former team seriously because he plays well against the Lakers. He seems to take the Anthony Davis matchup personal.
Right.
We talk about, if he's playing Sabonis 82 games, it looks like
in.
we're going to get 82 games from him playing hard. So sometimes I get it. But then when I look at how he plays against certain players or certain matchups, sometimes I'm like, unless it's something that we don't know, I don't want to say I don't want to buy it, but it's just like I look at it and I ask myself, why you can't bring this type of effort every night?
Every night, bro.
I don't want 30 points every night. Forget the stats. I'm talking about look how you play and look how you impact others. You see, when Randle plays like he plays in the first half, you see why teams double team him still, even when he has off nights.
That's right.
Because he can really be an impact player.
Yep.
He when he plays well, he impacts others around him.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he hasn't done that enough this season, and that's been the big question mark.
It's been a huge question mark, man. Huge question mark. And in the first half, you saw the quick decisions, getting into the sets early, getting into the pick and roll action early. And the ball movement was just crispy, man. And it flowed through him. Defensive end, he's pinning stuff against the backboard. They're out and running. It's as you said, why can't this be this way every night? Maybe it was because he played away from the Garden tonight. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And national TV, he likes those games.
Yeah,
too,
obviously there was a ton of us in there tonight. Shout out CK2K, my guy Sean Shepard. There was a lot of Knicks fans in the building tonight, obviously, but maybe it was that. Maybe MSG's just getting a little bit too hostile for him. I can't really call it. Let me salute some of the team hashtag news. Shout out to NSO X Smoke in the chat. Shout out Dawn Baxter. Shout out It's Fields in the building. How you doing, It's Fields? We got Adam Lloyd, team hashtag new. John B, Robert De Niro. Okay, so we got some celebs in here, man. We got Robert De Niro checking in, watching Knicks post game live. You know what I'm saying? Never know who's watching. So shout out to Rhyme Animal Chuck D in the Mosh chat with us. We got my guy Sean said he's about to check. He's gonna call in. Shout out team hashtag news, man. JD, who you want to shout out in the chat, man?
Always shouting out the mods. Thank you for helping, run the show. Shout out to the mods. Ty Clemens, shout out to you. J Star. I see KC in the chat. D Nice 77, shout out to you. And Darren Wilkinson, David Diaz, Ayana Green in the chat. They believe that's female. Always shout out to the females that are supporting the show. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in right now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay, so let me I'm gonna drag some more people here into the Discord. King Deej, hang tight. Nate, hang tight. Gonna drag some more people in here into the Discord. One thing I wanted to address real quick, and once again, salute to everybody in the chat. This Knicks post game live presented by Prize Picks. So Thursday night's show, we had a spirited debate between Ashley Moss, one of our co-hosts, one of our panelists, and Julita McCullum, diehard Knicks fan, part of the community, and co-hosted this show as well. They had a spirited debate, and I thought it was a spirited debate. Both sides made their points. Unfortunately, things kind of spilled out outside of the arena, and as a result, Ashley has chosen to step away from the show. She let me know that. She notified me about that. I spoke to her. I respect her decision. I accept her decision. And I think it's just best for, both parties to pursue this route. So, Ash she's going to be stepping away from the show. And, show goes on. We move forward. Definitely wish her nothing but the best. And that's about it. But, I say all that to say, at the end of the day, as we always say here, when you guys call in, when we on a panel speaking or debating or talking, bring that energy. Bring that fight with you. Let's go at it, toe to toe. You present your side, I present my side. We don't have to agree on everything. To be honest, in my opinion, if we agree on everything, it's going to make the show boring. Right? You come with your side, I come with my side. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. If you can reason appropriately, I reason appropriately. Hey, maybe we all come to some sort of agreement here. We all bring our solid points. But the minute it becomes personal, things change. And you take the fun out of everything. And we just have to bring respect to our debates, respect to our Discord. Because it's only sports at the end of the day, people. You don't want to take it personal about sports. Damn sure don't want to take it personal about a losing Knicks team. These guys been losing for 20 years. But their checks are still cutting on the 15th and the 30th. They'll be all right. You know what I mean? So, you want to get uptight about a loss, so you want to, go in on a debate, but never take it personal where this thing is just getting out of control. So let's just put things into perspective. As I always say, keep it peaceful. We're going to keep going at it. We're going to keep the battle of the fans. I don't care. You guys want to call me CAA TV, whatever the case may be. All of that is all in good fun. But just keep it in the arena. Don't get personal with people. Don't take jabs. Don't go at the players. Just keep it in the arena. I always say that. Keep it in the arena. Bring your energy, but just keep it. Don't take it personal. And that's my PSA on the topic. Like I said, we wish Ashley well, and the show goes on. We move forward. You know what I'm saying? JD, anything on that?
I mean, I think you covered it well. I will say, moving forward, like you said, everyone continue to bring the passion. We definitely don't want nobody to all of a sudden, just keep challenging.
Yeah.
Keep challenging us. If you feel that you disagree, that's why we're here. And certainly, I'm passionate about the team and what I believe in. Yeah. CP is as well. CP and I don't agree on everything, and we go at it. We go at it probably more off the air than we do on the air. So we're all a family, and at the end of the day, it's Knicks Fan TV to be. And we'll continue to move forward. And listen, shout out to Ash. She's outstanding, and she's growing. And everybody has a different journey. So everything happens for a reason. But we're gonna continue to be here and find a way to continue to support this team that is giving us all these heartbreaks like tonight.
Yeah, that's it. That's a fact, man. We will be here, win, lose, or draw. So. Like I said, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Dan from Jersey. Dan, how you feeling, man?
Good, okay. Wow.
What's good, my guy? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, man. It's a good night when RJ dropped 30+, man. It's a good night.
Facts.
In my opinion, man, everything went according to plan today. You know what I told my cousin today before we started watching the game? I told him, man, what we got to do today is A, raise Julius' trade value, B, get RJ going so his development looks nice, and 3, we got to make sure we lose this game because we got the tankathon, baby. Yeah, I already loaded up that NBA schedule, CP. You already know I loaded up that NBA schedule, bro. And you know what? I'm ready, man. We cannot go over 35 wins. I'm telling you, we got to get in the top 10 in the lottery.
So you're saying you got the fatigues dusted off? Like you got the fatigues dusted off, the helmet, everything. You ready to roll?
Bro, I got my phasers on, man. I'm ready. Cause listen, CP, we not going over 35 wins. It's unrealistic. The competition is too fierce. But listen, man, if RJ keep balling out, man, maybe next year. Yeah. See you, man.
Dad said he's starting to tank up early. Whoever's trying to hop aboard, come through, and he's out of there, bro. All right, well, I can't blame him. I did do FAN earlier this week. I told Keith McPherson, I said, look, man, after this West Coast trip, I might start dusting off the fatigues myself because I'm not sure. But then again, like you say, they come out in the first half looking like this, come out guns blazing. I'm like, are these guys back? And then second half, I'm like, nah, they're not back.
But that's why I rather do the process now because I wouldn't be surprised if, after the deadline and after this West Coast trip, a record sinks, and then we start playing the young guys. These are some hard playing young guys. You throw Jericho Sims out there, he doesn't look like a guy that's going to wing it.
Yeah.
McBride doesn't look like a guy that's going to wing it. Grimes doesn't look like a guy that's going to wing it. So when you start putting some of these hard playing players around the Julius and RJ, the Knicks might surprise and still be competitive to end the season. And the next thing you know, you have the 11th pick in the draft. So this is the dilemma you face sometimes, whether it's like, okay, you tank in a draft like this draft from what early prognosticators are saying, it could be a 4 or 5 player draft. In terms of the top of the draft. And so it's like, that's why I'd rather go with it now and see what you get. If you happen to make the playoffs, good. You made the playoffs with the young kids. If you don't and it goes the other way, good. You started the process and you're playing the young guys while games matter. A game like tonight on national television against, the Lakers are a bad team, but you could see the Knicks were motivated to see Anthony Davis on the other side and Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony on the bench. Like, these are Hall of Fame players. I want the young guys like RJ tonight with LeBron. I want them to be exposed to those environments. So that's why, I'm hoping that this process starts early. We can't continue to see Kemba Walker out there like this, or Nerlens Noel, some of these players. I honestly don't know what we're gaining from it other than last minute trade value.
I think it is. And on that topic, I told you guys I was gonna really talk business. We was gonna talk shop. Just yesterday, I had a great interview with Ryan McDonough, former GM of the Phoenix Suns, drafted Devin Booker, drafted Mikal Bridges, won a championship with the Boston Celtics as the assistant GM under Danny Ainge. So he's got a resume. We talked, man. We went inside the trade deadline. You guys are not going to want to miss this interview. I'm hoping to premiere it tomorrow night. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to premiere it before Knicks Weekly. So you guys can get some insights into, the business behind basketball. And as far as the trade deadline is concerned, it was a very good conversation. So looking forward to debuting that for you guys tomorrow. But yeah, with the Kemba thing, man, it's just hard to watch at this point. And
you saw the report today, from Berman saying that it looks like the most, from the sense that they're getting in the market, the most that the Knicks might get is a second round pick.
Right. Which I figured. We'd be lucky to get that at this point. I just think, I was talking to John Smelka of FAN on his podcast, and we were thinking, like, does a playoff team take that chance if they just looking for maybe just a third piece, like a depth piece just in case, type of thing? Do they go that route, or maybe they do need a backup? For a playoff run? Is he a bit better served in that role? I don't know. But on this team right now, my man has nothing left. And so clearly Tibbs has no trust in IQ. As you said, we started McBride 2 games, haven't seen him since, except for garbage time. Do you go back Burks until Rose gets back and start evaluating what McBride can do? Like, give him some more opportunities to succeed or fail as a backup now. As a backup.
They're not even looking to involve him in the minutes he's playing. Like, he's just running and passing the ball, and he just stands on the corner.
Are you talking about
even the shots he made tonight, it was as a spot up shooter.
And that's why I'm like, quickly could do that. You know what I'm saying? And play better defense.
Exactly.
He's struggling, but quickly could do that. And maybe he's better served in that role. So he's not, it doesn't have the pressure of having to facilitate out there like he does when he's running the second unit. It's tough calls, man. Tough call.
Dark horse team that may take him would be a Clippers team. They're right at there. They're 500 now at 27-27. They're in the playoff mix. They just made a big trade, and in that trade, they Eric Bledsoe went out, and a few guards. So, that might be a team, a guy like Ty Lue, who he'll play the whole roster if he needs to win. That might be a team that could be interested in buying low on the Kemba. So, but we'll see.
Let me hear from my guy, King Deej on the Discord, and then we'll get into our prize picks of the night. King Deej, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Run it up.
Let's go.
Salute the orange and blue family. Listen, man. RJ Barrett's biggest L in life right now is the fact that he's only 21. Because once this kid is 24, 25, it's gonna be smooth sailing, man. And I appreciate him going off on national television. You know why? Because at the end of the game, you know what I like to see, CP and JD? I like to see a star player like LeBron go to RJ Barrett and say, just boost his confidence, because this kid,
true,
he needs that confidence, he needs that understanding, and I'm glad that this year, even though we're losing, he's gaining that. I love that. So for that, I appreciate it. Randle, man, he had a good game. It's so funny, all the Randle haters that knock on him, and I ain't gonna say no names or nothing, but they never call when Randle has a good game. He had a good game. Worst third quarter ever, but I gotta keep going to this. RJ Barrett didn't get the ball in the third quarter after killing in the first half.
Yes, sir.
I can't keep blaming Randle for that because I just heard two callers say that Tibbs took 2 timeouts and still put in Kemba Walker. Still put in the same starting 5. Yo, Tibbs, I don't know, bro. I don't know if you're going to keep the job. Listen, I'm not saying you're going to get fired. I ain't asking you to get fired. I appreciate that you made wine out of juice last year. But you're not helping yourself for the bigger term picture, my brother. I'm just letting you know. Listen, the other caller that called saying he's ready for the tank. Listen, I'm in the military camps, JDCP. We in the lottery, baby. Number 11. We're number 11, baby, officially. I told y'all last week, we got a good chance to win 2 out of 5. I got to keep it real. We're not winning no more. Donovan's back in Utah.
This was it, man. This was the game I thought we should have won.
CP, the 2 games that I had circled was this Lakers game only because I thought LeBron wasn't going to be back, and the Jazz game because I thought Donovan was going to take some more time off for the concussion. It's a wrap. So I don't know what anybody else is expecting, but Thursday can come soon enough. And listen, I just want to say for all the trade rumors and everything, I get why people want to keep Randle, but I'm on the belief, and I'll always stick by it. This is a point guard league. You know why it looks so good when RJ is killing? Because he's a guard. He's not a point guard, but he's a guard. This is a guard-oriented league. And if I could get a point guard, Randle, God bless you. But all this stuff, all this extracurricular stuff, I'm not signing up for it, man. You're a good player. You're not a great player. You're not untouchable, bro. Yeah, you played a great game tonight. But I'm not signing up for all the extracurricular, man. That's it. Tibbs, you gotta figure it out, man. Figure it out. You're not gonna be here by the end of next year, bro. But just keep it going, man. I got y'all right here on the replay on the TV, man.
Let's go.
And that tank is rolling through the West Coast. Peace and love.
Shout out to the replay gang, man. If you guys are part of the replay gang and you're watching this after the live show, leave a comment in the comment section. #replay gang. Definitely shout out to you guys. $5 super chat comes in from Troy Davis. Says, Ashley, don't quit. I come here to hear you and CP argue. If you quit, he wins. You are not being fair to your fans. All right, well, those are certainly fun, but, Ash made her decision, man. So it's all love at the end of the day. Shout out to the replay gang. Real quick on the phones before we get to our prize picks, let me go to Seattle. Let's go to the Emerald City. JP, what's going on?
Hey, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. How you feeling, bro?
Good. JT from Seattle. But, I just want to talk about, so first of all, I got my fatigues as well, too.
Oh, you okay?
It's tank season. It's tank season. We number 10 right now from what I looked at. But my problem with Tibbs is he does, like, template coaching. You know what I mean? So, like, he doesn't really – we get mad at his rotations, but it's not that he has bad rotations. He just doesn't adjust. So, for me, I actually think he should give his Coach of the Year award back from last year because that really belongs to Mike Woodson, who, in my opinion, is the best Knicks coach in recent memory. I thought we did him dirty, to be honest, but he's doing his thing in Indiana. But at this point, with Burks shooting like 30% from the field and from 3, I don't really see why he's not putting in Reddish at this point so we can see what we got. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we are going to tank, but you just made this point earlier. Let's tank let's go down in flames with IQ, you know what I'm saying, so you can get the confidence. Because the reason RJ has the confidence that he does is because he's getting like 40 minutes. Which brings me to my last point, which I think might be the demise of Tibbs, which I'm very concerned about, is he's playing RJ and Julius way too many minutes, and this is going to be a D Rose, Luol Deng, Jimmy Butler 2.0, and they about to get injured. So especially Julius, who he doesn't play above the rim, but he probably has been getting most of the minutes. Like RJ wasn't really getting minutes like that last year, like this. But if the only reason I'd want to trade Julius, and this is, I'm not wishing that he gets injured, but it's because I'm worried of all the miles that he's been putting on him, right? So it's like, what are we going to have in like year 2 of his extension? We might have an injured Julius, and we're complaining right now. But to be honest, he's playing well. But he might come down with the injury, just like what happened with D Rose, Luol Deng. Like Tibbs just runs them into the ground. You know what I'm saying? So might as well get the value right now, and then come next year after we get our pick, I think we should move in a different direction for a coach.
Okay. All right, JT from Seattle. Edgar, that was JT, man. JT, you put JP on the switchboard, man. I botched this guy's name, so apologies to JT. So he's saying minutes. Let's take a look at the minutes leaders in the league, shall we? Let's take a look and see what's going on here. Let's see who's leading the league in minutes. So to everybody in the chat once again, we need to be up to 1,000 likes in the building, man. We got the number one show for the fans by the fans. Need to be up to 1,000 likes right now, man. Knicks postgame live presented by Prize Picks. CP and JD on the ones and twos. Knicks lose 122-115. Tough overtime battle to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Do you have it? I have a.
You have it?
I mean, I have Randle at 11th in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking at your list. I just want to make sure that I'm accurate.
I'm looking at
in this list, I have Randle 11th in terms of minutes leaders.
Let's see. Minutes
per game. I have Randle at 35.3.
So ESPN has.
I have him 11th on this list.
ESPN damn near has him at 19th.
How many minutes?
35.2. Yeah, 35.2. Yo, the Raptors are in the top three. They got Van Fleet, Siakam, and Nobi top three. Then you got Harden. LeBron is there. LeBron is there. KD, Dame, Jason Tatum, Scotty Barnes. So Raptors got 4 out of the top 10.
I have it on StatMuse. StatMuse,
Okay.
They update up to the second. So
I'd go
you have
with them over
35.2. I have 35.3 because they added tonight's game.
Okay.
I have 51 games played here.
Yeah, for some reason ESPN has him at 19 at 35.2. RJ, I don't even see RJ on this. I don't know. ESPN be tweaking, man. What is that? What does that mean to have RJ? Because I don't even think ESPN has this as RJ.
They don't even have him listed.
Yeah, ESPN's wild. Yeah, where's RJ on your StatMuse list?
Leaders.
Because RJ's at 32.4. I'm not sure where that ranks lead why, but Julius is at 35.2. But at 32.4, RJ, according to ESPN's list, wouldn't even be in the top 50. So I'm not sure. Check StatMuse though. Minutes per game.
RJ's 50. I have RJ here at 55.
Oh, so then
32. You have him at 32.4, right?
32.4.
Yeah, he's 55.
Right.
At 32.4.
So
in terms of Knicks players, you're looking at Randle 12th.
Mm-hmm.
You have the next Knick, you have RJ at 55. And then the next Knick after that is Fournier, 95th in the league at 28.8.
Yeah, so that's why it's like it's hard for me to draw that equivalency. You know what I'm saying? To draw that parallel between the minutes and the injuries and D Rose and this, that, and the third. Van Gundy has been interviewed in the past saying there's absolutely no correlation between heavy minutes and injury. It's hard to say, man. You know, it's hard to say. I haven't really been able to really latch on to that Tibbs running people into the ground narrative. You know, when I interviewed Jamal Crawford, he said, look, guys want to play. You know, guys want to play. At the same time, you had reports that Jimmy Butler, what's the short guard's name? Jeff Teague was complaining in Minnesota about that. So I don't know.
He definitely burned that out.
Yeah,
Jeff T burned down late.
Right.
But I mean, this season is also a weird season to, you know, to evaluate that just because of just the injuries, you know, health and safety protocols, conditioning, like with Mitch. So this hasn't even been like a 100% like ready team, healthy team to even evaluate how even these minutes would be. You know, Burke's starting half the season now, he's not, so his minutes are going to be, so it's an odd season. But in terms of his past, people always say that. I think, I mean, for me, it's more about the patterns the minutes distribution and when he decides to make the adjustments more than even the minutes.
Yeah. True indeed. True indeed. Couple more calls before we wrap up. Let's talk about the money real quick, man, and get into our prize picks of the night. I got destroyed, but hopefully you guys at home won tonight. And what is Prize Picks? Prize Picks, ladies and gentlemen, is daily fantasy sports made easy. They are our presenting sponsor of the show. And Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. They have the best NBA fantasy props out there on the market. And when we talk about props, it's simple. When we play this game, it's over or under. We're just playing overs or under. You can sign up by going to prizepicks.com, type in promo code KFTV. That's how you support us. And in return, Prize Picks is going to match your deposit up to $100. So it's a great deal. And here's how you play. As I said, you're going to select 2 to 5 players. You're going to go to prizepicks.com, you sign up, and you're selecting 2 to 5 players. And you can mix and match sports. So when the Super Bowl comes on next Sunday, you can play NBA, you can play NFL. 2 to 5 players. Now, tonight kind of threw me off because LeBron was a late game addition. And a lot of my picks tonight was kind of based off of the Lakers not having LeBron. So, for example, I went with my guy Fournier over 15 points. I did hit that. Fournier did end up with a 3 later in that game that did get me that. So Fournier did hit he did hit that with over 15 points. I went with Mitch over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You know, Mitch has been pretty hot lately. You know, he just fell just a little bit short, man. He finished with just 15. So, you know, battling with LeBron, battling AD down there. You know, Lakers coming into this game, like the Grizzlies, give up a lot of points, give up a lot of rebounds to opposing centers. But again, I think the LeBron factor did play into this, and so I did not hit on that one. Then again, I went with Russell Westbrook over 16.5 points, not expecting LeBron in this game. Figured Brody would have a lot more on his hands. No Carmelo in this game as well. So I went over 16.5 points of Westbrook. Did not hit that. But I did hit on the former Knick, my guy, Bobby Portis, having an outstanding season this year. Over 13.5. Milwaukee in Portland. I thought that was a lock for the night. Portis finished with 30 points, bro. Put some respect on his name. Bobby Portis is absolutely killing. And Portland is absolute roadkill right now. So I figured that was my lock of the night. And then my 5th pick in this thing was, I did Portis. Oh, Quickly. Quickly was the other one I hit. I did under 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists on Emmanuel Quickly. And I did hit that. Quickly only had 1. Because he's been struggling all year, and I just had no confidence that he would deliver on the road here against the Lakers, and that came through. So only hit 3 out of my 5 picks tonight. But, you know, it was one of those nights. The other night, I got $80 out of the deal. So you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, man. How'd you do tonight? You on mute? Oh, JD must have got the bag. He's speechless tonight. Hang tight.
I definitely didn't get the bag. I was muted, and then my mouse died. Had to connect it real quick. So I went 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I only played the Lakers-Knicks game. So that was my ticket was based on that game. And I did get LeBron because I was waiting to the last moment to see on LeBron news. Once I saw that he was going to play, I picked the over. And because he was, he came back.
Did they have LeBron on Prize Picks?
Yeah.
I didn't even, I refreshed a couple times. I did not even see him on there, bro.
25.5.
Wow.
Wow. You guys can see it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. 25.5 was his line on points. He had 29. So I hit on that. Kemba Walker, 6 points. I went the over. I thought that was too low. I could see Kemba having at least 10 points. He had 7.
I was looking at under for Kemba, man. I didn't have any.
Yeah. It was 7. I hit on that. Anthony Davis, 35.5 points, rebounds, assists. I went with the over. He had 48. So he blew by that. So I hit on that. And the 2 that I missed was RJ. I took him at under 19.5 points. The last 3 games, RJ has scored 12 points, 8 points, and 7 points against the Lakers. So I felt confident. And then once LeBron was coming back, I said LeBron's probably going to guard him.
Right.
So I'm going to go with the under 19.5 is a little high. And RJ has a career high, 36
blew
points.
right past it.
And then I took the under on Julius, 32.5. And we know the type of night he had. Yeah. So 3 out of 5 tonight. Play responsibly, but Prize Picks is fun, man.
Yeah, definitely play responsibly. It's not available in all 50 states, but when you go to prizepicks.com and try to sign up, you can figure it out if it's available in your state or not. It's obviously we've been playing in New York for a couple months now. Great sponsor, great partner for the show. Go to prizepicks.com, or you can download the app in the App Store, Prize Picks. Promo code KFTV. Get a 100% match on your deposit up to $100. Okay, couple more calls before we wrap up. Great show, tough loss. Let's go to the rhyme animal, Chuck D, on the Discord. Chuck, let's go.
Yo, I don't have the right to speak. I didn't catch the game tonight. It was weekend movie night.
Yeah, all good, OG, man. All good, man. How you feeling?
Thanks for I mean, after I saw all the pregame, I was already turned off when I saw all the pregame stuff. But thanks for giving me the update. And then all of a sudden, the nightmare from Elm Street happened.
Let me tell you, Chuck, my cousin. So I didn't watch the pregame. I was in the kitchen. I was making dinner and whatnot, and it was ESPN anyway. So I wasn't really interested in what they had to say. My cousin was like, "Man, they spent the whole time, talking about the Lakers, didn't say anything about the Knicks." And then the intro montage. They had they go back in the days, back in the 70s, Knicks, Lakers, and the guy speaking, it almost sounded like you for a second. So I'm like, yo, they got Chuck for the voiceover. That's hard. And then I'm like, that's not Chuck, man. I'm like, yo, this is trash, man. They needed Chuck. I texted Chuck right away, JD. I was like, yo, they needed you for this intro, man. I wasn't feeling it. Was not feeling it.
Yeah, I got snatched away right after that anyway. So I'm gonna ask you and JD this question, right? And then I'm gonna be out here because I don't have a right to speak on the game, right? I ain't watch it. But if in baseball, right now we know it's 2 different sports, right? You got pitching deficiencies, right? And you keep hearing from your minor leagues that this pitcher has thrown 5 no-hitters, man. And every time, they keep throwing no-hitters. You ain't got pitchers, right? What happens? They eventually bring the kid up to get some reps and starting on the mound. I don't want to hear no more talk about Westchester Deuce McBride stats, man. I don't want to hear like, yo, Deuce, you scored 42 and that's part of their promo scheme. When we, when we at need, because basically he's doing the equivalent of throwing no-hitters, in the G League, if we're going to consider that the minor league. Right. So that's all I had to say on that. I mean, to me, I always thought that Burks is a fantastic shooter in case of emergency break glass.
Right.
But he's a carnival, man. He's a carnival in the fourth quarter as a point guard dribbling the ball. It's nothing good that ever come from
it. It's hurt his shooting, man. It's hurt his shooting completely, Chuck. His shooting is going off a cliff.
Too much responsibility.
Too much responsibility.
It's all over the place. It's like, like deer in the headlights. Yep. It's not for me to say, but that's my feeling on it. And number 2, peace and love out to all, the content creators and of course in the staff, the KFTV family, man. Understand this. There's no beef amongst anybody here. It's the product. Don't let the product.
That's it.
F up yourselves and your relationship.
That's right.
Because it's the product, not your curation of the product.
That's a fact.
I'm out. Peace and love, CPJD. Let's go.
OG, appreciate you, man. Great call as usual. Throw some 5s in the chat for a legend among us. Throw a hashtag PE in the chat to salute the rhyme animal, Chuck D. Great call. Definitely great call. And again, at the rate this thing is going with Kemba, it can't get any worse, Tibbs. It cannot get any worse. If we're going to have to deal with Burks, throw him back in the starting lineup till Rose gets back. If clearly you don't trust Quickly, you trust Burks. Definitely trust Burks. Throw him back in the starting lineup. Push everybody up. Give Quickly a look. Give McBride a look. And get Slide Cam up in there. Can't get any worse at this point with the point guard rotation is concerned. Kemba has no active role on the offense. And clearly, his defense isn't on point. So, and that was the thing. Somebody was, I was talking about the Kemba situation on the WFAN interview. Somebody left a comment on that interview and was like, you guys, first you want Kemba bench, then you don't want him bench because he plays well. Which one is it? I was like, well, it's not really black and white. When he wasn't playing well and the numbers pointed to that, yeah, you wanted to make the change. Then when we brought him in, he was on fire for those games. Then all of a sudden, bro, he misses 9 straight games with the knee. So at the end of the day, you draw the conclusion the knee's not going to get any better. And if he can't be a full-time point guard for you, it's not going to do your team any favors. It's not going to do your team any good. So just scrap the experiment altogether. You thank him for his service. You put him on the bench, and you find a home for him. You find a new spot for him because it's just not going to work. This up and down yin-yang with Kemba, it's not going to help the team.
And I know that, and players are always going to want to play. Sometimes, the thinking is positive and you want to increase value. Sometimes you end up hurting it. And sometimes you could end up even hurting that player's confidence more. Because if this is not a good fit for him, how is playing him more when we're not going to feature him? Like, we're not going to look at making you better. We're not going to look at putting you in a position to excel. If that's not going to be the focus, unless he catches fire, because everybody's streaky, he's still a professional player, right? You saw him a few times tonight. He'll hit an open shot. But unless that happens, how is this situation right now? How is it going to get better? And because of that, because he's not a priority right now for this coaching staff, for the system, I don't see how Kemba plays well in this situation. So to me, you cut ties, and to Chuck D's analogy with the pitchers, in baseball, pitching is a premium. And right now in this league, point guard play is a premium. Guard play is a premium. And yes, a guy like Deuce McBride he went in the second round because scouts we're not sure if McBride is a point guard, is McBride a shooting guard, and if he is a shooting guard, is he a good enough scorer because of his size?
Right.
And his defense is what helped him get drafted, as well as hitting the 3-point shot. We saw that in the summer league. And listen, I tweeted out about the Chicago Bulls second round pick in the 38th pick in the second round, Ayo Dosunmu. He's averaged 37 minutes in the last 10 games. And he's a guy that faced up.
He's been killing with the Bulls, man. He's coming on strong.
And he's gotten an opportunity. And this is a guy that put up 20 points per game at Auburn. Like, he killed in college. He still goes in the second round, has a lot of questions on the scouting report, and is still getting valuable minutes on a winning situation. So to me, when I look at that, I just don't see why. And I know a lot of people will counter and say, well, JD, playing McBride, we're not going to win. Playing Graham Reddish, we're not going to win. Exactly. We're not winning now. So what are we learning? I always say this every day, just like every day in life. What do you learn? Was it productive? Is today a step forward into tomorrow? And if you didn't take a step forward, then you got to make sure what did you do wrong and how you can make the next day positive so that you can continue to take steps forward.
True story.
That's what I have to say to that. And then real quick, Chuck D, shout out to you, man. You're a legend. We don't take you for granted because you're active and you participate all the time. But, me being in this seat, man, it's always an honor to see you in the chat, to just, hear you speak. And shout out to you because I did see what you posted in terms of what you're doing for up and coming artists, man. Keep continuing what you do, man. You're a legend. I just want you to know, because I know you're here all the time. We certainly don't take you for granted.
No question. No question, man. Let me see how this Julius audio sounds. A little bit of Hollywood Julius. He's rocking. I don't know if this is a Versace shirt. Looks kind of expensive, man. Let's see what he has to say post game. See, sometimes his post game audio is a little bit low. Let's see.
I just think if we play fast how we did, compete like we did, especially in the first half, I feel like we can win and beat anybody. It's just about sustaining that. too many mistakes in our half-court defense in the second half. And I'll take the blame for that. But, we just got to be better, clean up little mistakes, and just try to build.
Okay, so Julius holding himself accountable here, JD, saying he takes the blame for the second half collapse. Very interesting.
Gotta give him credit for that, right? You gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah, let's give him some credit.
We can't just turn when we say we gotta give him credit. But here's the question: let's see it against Utah?
Right.
Let's see it against Denver. You know what I mean?
Let's see what happens.
If you have 10 points the next game, I want to see you back in that seat and say, "Yo, it's my fault. I scored 10 points, man." That's all I'm saying is consistency. So gotta give you credit, right? We can't be all crazy. Got to give him credit for that. But just like the first half, Julius, it's all about can you please bring this type of energy, effort, and accountability.
Facts.
More than tonight. That's all.
Nightly. Yeah, man. I think it's just the LA air, man. It's just that LA vibe. Sometimes when you touch down at LAX, you switch up. You get in the Hollywood vibe. He got the Versace. Look like a little like Versace joint on. He got the diamond crusted chain. You know what I'm saying? Julius is swagged out, man. He's back in LA.
Braids is fresh.
He
was looking forward to it.
Yeah, he was looking forward to this one. You could tell, man. He came out with that Hollywood energy. So
I will say two games in a row now where the energy's a little higher. Don't know if a conversation happened behind closed doors.
Right.
Don't know if him and Tibbs talk. Mark Berman has reported that Tibbs may be privately frustrated with Randle. Trade deadline. We'll see what happens in trade deadline, but if he continues this, then something might have happened here to get him to turn up here.
That's right.
So we'll see.
That's a fact. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks post-game live presented by Prize Picks. We're going to wrap up with the closer, Jay Boogie. I see a lot of calls on there. We try to get to a lot of people tonight, but, we still got another show tomorrow. We got Knicks Weekly tomorrow. I want to make sure that, this show, this content is digestible so that we can move on to the next. So if you didn't get on tonight, call in tomorrow during Knicks Weekly. We'll make sure that you get in. Let me get one more guy actually before Jay Boogie. Tyler from Florida. He is a new caller. Tyler, how you feeling?
Hey, what's up, guys? I know it's late, so I'm gonna try and make it quick.
Okay.
Basically, today was just like a tale of two Julius Randles.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first half, we saw Julius Randle that was accepting that RJ Barrett is hot, playing off of him, getting hot, playing off of RJ Barrett, that's like, I feel like this season he hasn't been able to accept that we don't need him to be an ISO ball player where he needs to dribble, shoot the fadeaways. Today it looked like he was accepting his role. Then he came out in the second half, kind of ball heavy, pounding the ball a lot, which really killed the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So I also feel that Tibbs is lost right now. It's almost like he doesn't know what to do. I would have no problems with Tibbs if he would treat the team fairly. To me, it feels like he caters to Julius a little bit. I know he's the best player. He's our best option right now. But there's been plenty of games where Julius has been at the half with like 8 points, couple turnovers, not really shooting good, not getting to the basket. And then we got guys like Quickly today, not doing too great, but plays 5 minutes. I mean, it's like unacceptable. And it's like I said, Julius Randle does that. He still goes on to play 36 minutes. So I think he needs to hold these guys accountable, especially when we have so much young talent depth. I also heard a lot of earlier callers talking about tanking. I think it's too early to tank just because last year we were a little better than this at this time. But if these guys come together and really lock in, they can make it a play-in, maybe shock the team that they play, and maybe make a deep run. But we definitely got to make some moves at the deadline. And we have a lot of young talent. I don't see what more draft picks are going to give us. Let's develop the young guys we have now, find a veteran to really lead them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in, Tyler. Definitely appreciate your support. All right. Closing the show, J Boogie. J Boogie, let's go.
Good morning. 3 capital G's.
Let's go.
Salute. 3 capital S. Y'all got me out here way into a whole another day. I watched the game yesterday and talking about it another day. That's all good, though. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All y'all people, you know what I'm saying, rocking with this orange and blues. Much love, peace, and respect to you. Shout out to my GM, you know what I'm saying. I texted him today and told him I wasn't even going to call until after the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? But this game made me do a call. Shout out to the young Griselda, you know what I'm saying, my man JD, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to the home team. Shout out to my man EG back there behind the board. And shout out to the great legend himself, Chuck D. I'm going to say it right now. I hope the whole world hear me. Ain't but one voice like that voice. And ain't but one person that could deliver messages like that message. So ain't nobody never going to be the great Chuck D. Tell him I said it. You know what I'm saying? You want smoke, then let's smoke. Come holler at your boy. But I'm going to talk about 7 things wrong with this team right here. The first thing is quickly, you had a bad game. I don't know what you was thinking about. You thinking about playing the drums again? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Kimber, I don't know what's wrong with you. Your knee pads is too loose, you know what I'm saying? It keeps sliding down. Put your elbow sleeves on or something, you know what I'm saying? Burks, I don't know. Somebody broke in your crib? You worried about what's going on somewhere else. You ain't thinking about what's going on in the court. I don't know what's happening with you. Grimes, I ain't going to put too much blame on you because that's the first time you ever seen them staple lights, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't no different from the garden light. The reason why I put out them 4 dudes off top because all 4 of them had bad games. So if one of them guys, you can sit one of them guys that why you can't bring in that man off that bench? You just saw him the other night on flex. He tore the whole stadium down. Nobody think Cam Ron can spit like that, but he tore the whole flex show down. So why can't you put Cam inside that game? You know what I'm saying? We traded for Cam. Why he can't get no action? He got some action the last time, and when people ain't playing good, you need to put that man in the game. Make the proper adjustments. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that logical, Tom. Is it you the reason why you're not putting Cam in the game? I don't know. But if you are the reason, then I got a problem with Leon Rose. You need to come down there and talk to Tom and tell him you made it a trade and put some on first picks, and you want to know why this guy's not playing on the court. I know he's not injured because too much gambling going on, and you got to put out that report. I need to know what's the problem why Cam is not playing on that court. You can't tell me that man couldn't have helped us out tonight. You couldn't tell me he couldn't help us out against Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what Tom is doing. You scared to go small ball. LeBron was playing the 5. What you doing with 2 bigs out there for? Same thing you did against Memphis. You know, the biggest man they had was Slow-Mo. You still out there with them bigs. You got a problem with making the proper adjustments, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pointing a lot of these fingers at you, you know what I'm saying? The third quarter, what you was watching, a DVD, nobody watch DVDs no more. What you was looking at on that sideline, I don't understand what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? But you causing me to have issues and problems about this team, you know what I'm saying? And I was not calling back up here no more until we hit the trade deadline because I don't know which direction we going. I don't know if we going young. I don't know if you're trying to get some more vets to come in here, you know what I'm saying, to do something different, you know what I'm saying, than what we're doing. But I don't want no vets. I don't want nobody with 5 years experience. I want leadership. Bring me some leaders if you're going to bring somebody over here. If you ain't bringing me no leaders, then keep building with the young squad, man. Please, man, build with the young squad, man. And just, you know what I'm saying, enlighten on the other situation. What happened the other night, and I put it up on my Twitter, you know, the Knicks are going to be Knicks. Us as the people, we're going to be the people. And the Knicks are going to have a bad season. But the bad thing about it, and the great thing about it, tomorrow, no matter how bad they play, we still going to love and appreciate the Knicks. But you can't not, you know what I'm saying, love and appreciate the Knicks enough, whereas, you know what I'm saying, we separating as the people. I need the people to stay together, you know what I'm saying. You're supposed to be there for one another. You're supposed to be backing up one another. You're supposed to have love and care for one another. You're supposed to motivate somebody else. You're supposed to help somebody get somewhere else that they're having problems with reaching their own points in life, you know what I'm saying. Stick together and stop acting like the team is the reason why we separate, man. I love the people. Y'all stick together, man. Everybody continue on staying healthy and safe, you know what I'm saying? Know that thing is still out there, man. God bless you all, man. 3 capital S's, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital G's, good morning, good morning, good morning.
And he's out of there. Let's go. J
I love
Boogie,
the new people in the chat. How they react. They don't know J Boogie.
Yeah.
One person is like, "Wow, this is the call of the night." I'm like, "You don't know the protocol, man.
Yo,
J Boogie's always the call of the night."
That's the protocol, man. That is the protocol. Win or lose, we go out with a W on the show. Throw some 5s in the chat. Throw some fire emojis in the chat because that was nothing short of a 5-star fire call. He sprinkled it, and he sprinkles in a little bit of everything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He wants his adjustments. He took Tibbs to task. He wants his young players in there. Wants to see some adjustments in Tibbs, and then he put things in perspective. Man, we gotta continue to lift each other up. Stop tearing each other down. Oh, especially over sports. Like I said, we gotta put things in perspective, man. Jay Boogie, the closer. Great call. Great show. Tough loss. So tomorrow, we will, like I said, I'm going to premiere the interview with Ryan McDonough. We're going to go inside. I'm giving you a GM's perspective of the NBA trade deadline. Don't want to miss it. We had a great conversation with him, and we're going to put that up tomorrow. Knicks Weekly, me, JD. JD, you going to be here Knicks Weekly or no?
Yeah.
Me, JD, Alex, Knicks Weekly, Sunday night. And then the next game is when? Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No,
so,
wait.
Is it next game Monday or Tuesday?
Monday at 9 p.m.
Monday
Eastern
against the
time
Jazz. So
at
then we
Utah.
go West Coast watch along on Monday. And then Tuesday, West Coast watch along against the Denver Nuggets. And then Thursday, the NBA trade deadline, West Coast watch along, Knicks versus Warriors is going down. Action-packed week coming up on this channel. So like I said, you guys better hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, lock in, because we're going to be here all week. And it's going to be a hectic week, man.
Man, this is okay. So Knicks Weekly tomorrow. You got Ryan McDonough. So that's 2 in 1 day.
Yeah.
You got Utah watch along Monday. So please tune in for the pain.
Yeah.
Tuesday back. Please tune in for the pain for that. And then Thursday trade deadline and the Warriors. So tune in for Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
30 minutes. He's gonna get 30 minutes on Thursday. The grand plan from CP. Be patient. We're gonna see it.
Cam versus
unveiled on
Kaminga
Thursday
showdown.
night.
Cam locking down Clay. Let's go. Let's go. That's going to be the secret weapon, the ultimate adjustment by Tom Thibodeau. Cam locking up Clay, man. All right. Let me salute some of the super chats that have come in before we wrap up. Great show. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. First Lady of Sports. Appreciate it. I read that one. Who else? Where else do I got to go? Jamaica Queen 22, story of the night. To me, is Tibbs got completely outcoached. Shahid, $10 Canadian super chat says Tibbs killed us tonight. He kept the same lineup on the floor for almost the entire third and coughed up the lead and did nothing. Also horrible from the strike again. From the stripe, I guess he says. Package Burks and Kemba and Fire and free Cam. Yeah, I don't know why we keep missing free throws, man. It's just ridiculous at this point. RJ and Julius, both of them could have probably had 40 points out there if they would have just hit their free throws. We stopped doing Kenny Gales. We stopped doing everything that worked in the first half and the second half. I don't know why the whole team have free throw demons. Tibbs not it, man. Burks can't inbound. No one not named RJ speak to me. All right. Let me throw the specs on, man. I'm trying to front like I can read all this without my glasses. Let me go ahead and just go into Urkel mode here. Willie Cruz says Monk was cooking in the third against Kemba and Fournier and Tibbs. Just watch it. No adjustments on D. At Freak NY, Vogel took Westbrook out and had LeBron play point forward. Knicks do not have an elite level point guard or point forward. Win or lose, KFTV is the best post game in the business. Most must-see TV. Husband in the making, $5 super chat. Says the game is subbed up to this. Vogel made the adjustments and Tibbs didn't. KG7 Full says we are a bad basketball team. 71 points first half and still catch this L. 0-5 on this trip. Jared Dowdle said $5 super chat says get that ostrich Noel out of New York. Jay Cox says I can listen to CP call the ones and twos call all day. KFTV Clyde. It feels as long as Randle is a Knick, this will never become RJ's team. Want proof? Rewatch the third quarter. Dwayne Freddie Hubbard, appreciate it. Mike Blunt says Julius really let Monk shoot in his face at least 3 times. Like, bro, it's an unwritten law. Hand down, man down. TGI Fly says connection was discombobulated. Clyde voice. Tibbs playing checkers on a chessboard tonight had a chance to effectively go small and chose Noel. Paul Robinson says Tibbs style D needs good offense to balance opposing threes. $10 super chat from Junior Chroma says exactly JD. At first I was like, I do that trade now, but after today I'm like, nah. If we can get this Jules for here on out, forget that trade. Stanley Frederic says the ref screwed the Knicks over in the game. The league always be screwing teams over this fake GOAT LeBron James. Jeffrey Easton says, Fight Out Super Chat says, we knew the lead could be lost. One missed free throw, gave up too much at the rim. No mix and matching by Tom Thibodeau, a.k.a. Thumbtack. Troy Davis, appreciate it. Anthony Knicks fan says, hand RJ the keys. 007 Angelo says, don't fall for it. LeBron was recruiting RJ. Do not let LeBron talk to RJ. Stay away. George Murray says, I honestly don't think Julius is going anywhere, but we seriously got to look to trade Fournier and Burks. Sean says, Tibbs is coaching to get fired and collect his check for the remainder of the contract. Del Will says, great job by the Broadway bully. Mitch needs to be able to play longer than 5-minute spurts. Reeves was cooking IQ. Best of luck to Kemba in his future endeavors. This ain't it. Tank, the lottery hates us. Hush Zeus says, get RJ a point guard and a stretch 5. Want to maximize RJ as much as we can. Love Mitch, but he should be playing Noel's role. It's still Randle till I die. Still trade Randle till I die. Rhyme Animal Chuck D says, we still a 43-39 team, I believe. Just a streak and a decent point guard, backcourt point guard away. Point guard, free throws, and RO, as in rotations, have made this a difficult stretch. No question. No question. All right. And that is it. Oh, one more from Ill Minds Podcast. Ill Minds Podcast says, Julius just boosted his trade value. Kings, give us Fox. We need that point guard that can push the pace. We desperately need that Knicks Weekly tomorrow. And I think that's from my guy E Crossover. So yeah, Knicks Weekly will be back tomorrow. We'll recap the weekend and we'll just give our final thoughts on the trade deadline, man. So it's going to be a great show. Make sure you guys lock in. Probably kick off about 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then go forward, man. So once again, great show. Remember, go to prizepicks.com. Enter promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit up to $100. Manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And remember, the show is also available in podcast format, so don't always have to catch it on YouTube Live. You could always catch it on audio format. We'll have the podcast up in a couple of hours. Podcast links will be available on KnicksFanTV.com. So, as I said, man, great show. Knicks lose, though, 122-115. JD, we out of here, man. See you guys tomorrow.